What's going on, everyone? I am the Kilty Cage, and welcome back to my channel. Now, the world of content creation on YouTube, especially when you're talking about the comings and goings, the news and everything going on with pop culture, social media, all this other stuff, it's rather quick, fast, and in a hurry. And if you don't jump on top of some stories, you get left behind. Now, there are other times where you might jump on top of a story and give your comments and opinions, and then less than a week after that, well, all of a sudden things change. This is the case when it comes to Drew Barrymore and Bill Maher. Whereas around September 13th, Bill Maher and Drew Barrymore, again, they decided to come back with their shows, their little talk shows with Bill Maher. It was Real Time to return, but without writers. Now, I thought to myself, well, good for them, because there are more than just writers working on these shows. You have people behind the camera, the production employees who are pretty much screwed in all of this nasty-ass writer's strike and SAG-AFTRA strike, all this other nonsense. Through no fault of their own, all these people that work production that depend on these talk shows and sets and these television shows and movies and all this other stuff, they depend on all this in order to work. The writers came out and walked away from all these deals. They wanted contract renegotiation, or maybe not even renegotiation. They wanted to force the studios to listen to their demands for whatever reason, better pay, which that's debatable if you've heard the amount of money that these chuckles get paid for the mediocre at best writing that they do. It has affected people who have no control over this. Like I said, those behind the camera, people who work the lights, who get the crowd excited, show the applause and all that other stuff. They got set out without work, without jobs, through no fault of their own. So when Bill Maher and Drew Barrymore came out, I was like, cool, I'm going to make a video on this. And then I didn't, because I procrastinate and I forget, and other things come up and I start doing a live stream or whatever. Well, within a week, it came out that Drew Barrymore bent the knee. I'm like, well, okay. She's got her own decision. She wants to, bend the knee to the writers for whatever reason. That's fine. Bill Maher was still going to go forward with his show, but of course, he bends the knee as well. Lose a little respect for these people. They don't want to offend the writers and all this other nonsense, because the writers, they're fighting for something, right? Well, again, what about the people you put out of work? What about the production companies? What about the guy running the camera? What about the people running the lights? Again, nobody cares about them, right? Bill Maher pausing production of his HBO Real Time, he announced Monday, after previously saying the Writers Guild of America would not delay his ongoing running commentary show from airing, joining a growing list of stars who had reversed course in recent days and decided not to continue airing their shows during the strike. Not any really big loss on the late night talk shows, I'll have you know. I mean, America feels a little bit better because they're not being force-fed the negative panic, and so-called attempts at comedy for the late-night talk shows. But all that apparently might be a big old moot point, because as it turns out, yesterday, this came out from Variety, WGA, AMPTP to meet Sunday, today as the time of this recording, after Gill presented with Best and Final Offer. I wonder how they feel about the wording of that one. My understanding that they were offered something before and they didn't like it. Something about $7,000 or $8,000 a week. I don't know about you, but are you turning down $7,000 or $8,000? I don't know the details, but I'm sure one thing I've heard is one of the number one things that they're arguing about and they're fighting about is the use of AI, and worried about that replacing their jobs, replacing them as writers. And as I've said before, if you're overly concerned about an artificial intelligence, about a computer algorithm replacing you as a writer or an artist or anything like that, then you might want to rethink your ability. People will notice. We're not foolish. Well, not all of us are. And your average person will appreciate more something that is written by a human being, something that is drawn by a human being. It's just the way we are. And I think if you're concerned with being replaced by an artificial intelligence, you may need to rethink your talent. Updating the article, Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers and WGA are set to meet again Sunday after 4 consecutive days of negotiation designed to secure a new 3-year contract and bring the nearly 5-month writer's strike to an end. Has anyone really noticed that there's a writer's strike going on? Genuinely, honestly, like, that's a legitimate question. Because I find my entertainment in other places. Stuff that's already out, I guess. And the entertainment that is on either streaming services or terrestrial television, outside of a few little gems here and there, go watch live action One Piece. It's fantastic. The stuff coming out of Disney Plus, whether it's Star Wars, Indiana Jones, or Marvel, has been, again, mid at best. It's the best compliment I could possibly give it. The writing is lackluster, nonsensical, contrived, lack of coherency, lack of continuity. So if that's the writing we're going to be getting back, yay, let's all celebrate. Industry sources report that on Saturday afternoon that a best and final offer was sent to WGA negotiators around 5 p.m. Pacific. Legal representatives for labor and management huddled. They're trying to make this sound so dramatic. It's a bunch of people who don't like what they're getting paid and are crying about it, which on one hand I can understand. If you're in a union and you believe you are not getting fair representation or fair pay at your job, sure. However, the product that you put out should match the pay that you are requesting. And I don't think those two are equal. Not with what's being pushed out, what's being regurgitated by Hollywood. AMPTP move to make, quote, a last, best, and final offer to the WGA is meant to signal to the Guild that the companies will not engage in further negotiations on the terms of the contract in any significant way. I wonder what's going to be in the contract. It's a common process in collective bargaining negotiations. The WGA is expected to give the AMPTP a yay or nay on Sunday. Wow, it's getting late at the time of this recording. I wonder how it's all turned out. Saturday's focus was finalizing the fine print of language or for complicated and cutting-edge contract issues. I am genuinely curious what this all is. The main down to language now. Okay. Nitty-gritty details of the terms around the AI proposal has been one of final hurdles to overcome, multiple sources said. I am curious. I think there should definitely be something in the contract that protects the studios. No, I'm not shilling for the studios. There should also be things in there to protect the writers as well. Protect everyone. If you put out good content that gets good ratings, that gets good viewership and good buzz on the internet and people talking about it, people wanting more, then I think you deserve bonuses, perhaps. Some sort of incentive for these writers to put out quality product. At the same time, if you're putting out dog water over and over again, I think the studio should have the right to cut their losses and kick you out. Just period. Get them out. If you're writing bad product that no one's interested in seeing, I don't think the studios should be forced to pay you a dime whatsoever. Negotiation was jump-started this week by the presence of 4 top executives. Bob Iger, David Zaslav, Netflix's Ted Sarandos, and NBC Universal's Donna Langley. These 4 took part in 3 days of marathon negotiations. I love the terms that they use in these to make this all seem more dramatic and more important than it actually is. That broke the month-long impasse between the WGA and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television. Just keep saying AMPTP. How do you go from... Anyway, that's a whole other... That's a tangent. Senior executives were not in the room Saturday, but likely kept close tabs on the progress after investment so much time. After investing, I'll go ahead and do your editing for you. After investing so much time earlier this week, insiders familiar with the situation said the approach of the Yom Kippur... What? Approach of the Yom Kippur holiday on Sunday evening became an unofficial deadline target. Sure, we'll take your word for it. Once it became clear, the sides were making real progress earlier in the week. So they set a deadline. Here's our final offer. I'm going to have to go digging. I'm interested to see. Are you excited? I guess in a manner of speaking, I'm glad this is over. I'm glad this nonsense is over so we can get back to the oh so wonderful stories coming out of all these wonderful studios who just love the fans and accept any and all sorts of criticism without calling us names. I guess it's going to be business as usual once these Hollywood elite, the stars and starlets, get back on the promotional tours to insult the fans. Can't wait to see what Rachel Zegler has to say, but hey, what do I know? Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. I appreciate you making it this far. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. See you on the next one.